take us through the agent selection.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, what's 1 year of the Valorant Sunday Showdown without some fun quirks and little things happening here and there? I mean, this is a weekly tournament that we do every single week, obviously, but now we are jumping in, and I want to point out, first of all, that there's going to be an Astra on both sides. This is the first agent that's really been adopted, Vincent, like right away. And so it's been very interesting and a lot of fun to see like how fast teams have adopted Astra into their compositions, especially here on Ascent. And it seems like this has kind of been the meta here recently. What do you think, Vincent?
Yeah, I mean, I hesitate to say the meta because I think there's still some question marks about like how to utilize the Astra, but it definitely has been a consistent pick. I won't deny that in the slightest. And an interesting decision already right off the back is that Trill on the Astra, but B Dog also on the Omen. So two controllers there with the smokes, and I mean that in and of itself is a bit different than what you would normally see. On the other side of things, FYB taking what I would consider a very normal composition. They're just it's the classic double duelist setup here with the one controller, one sentinel, and the Sova. So I think that this is a very interesting composition difference because I have to imagine that this is just going to be the picks that feel the most comfortable here for the Ex-Sakura Storm side.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very fun to see. You know, there's going to be a lot of smokes on the field, Vincent. Let's be honest. An Omen, two Astras. I mean, the amount of smokes that's going to be on the field in general is going to be ridiculous. So lots of vision denial in general for Ex-Sakura Storm, and they're on the attacker side, so that could work in their favor here. But it looks like it is going to be a 5-player push towards the mid section here on Ascent. And we're going to be jumping into it. 5 seconds left here on the countdown timer. This is our first match of the day for Valorant Sunday Showdown week number 52, our 1-year anniversary. So thank you everyone in the chat for hanging out, for joining us here on this momentous occasion. But Huston, getting it started on to Trill.
Yeah, trying to get it started, I should say. But that mid push you were speaking of is coming in very, very quickly. Simple up close, getting one, but not much more. It's J-Cruel for the return frag, and Truo returns that same favor. The jet on jet action looking good here early, but there's still 4 players alive here for the defense, and Houston is still very much alive and able to defend this site. As I say that, though, does get a backwards position, doesn't want to give too much away, but ultimately that push coming in from Ex-Sakura Storm, not really netting much of anything, Choice.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's kind of insane how much control that FYB have on this B site. I mean, they're going to... Ex-Sakura Storm have a mountain to climb here. There's a lot of members. They're all set up in pretty fantastic positions here. So Trio kind of hanging out in that stairs area is going to try and take down that recon dart. Does get spotted by it, maybe taking a little bit of damage, but this time he's going to back off as they send a little bit more rounds down range. And the pickup from the Ghost. Look at this. A couple of shots going down, and there it is. Through the wall, B-Dog is going to be able to take down Trio, but Nerve and Huston working together to be able to take down 2 more, and that's it for Ex-Sakura Storm. That's going to be the first round of the day, going on over to Frick Ya Bag FYB.
Absolutely. And on top of that, you know, let's take a look at the way that round went down, Choice. We saw the mid push come in. You set it up nicely talking about it, and the split there over to B was a good idea. But the problem with that is that the holdover at B, they got aggressive, right? They pushed back Trill and the rest of Ex-Sakura Storm. So the split never happened. It was just one push and then a second push. And that's never what you want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when FYB are able to just take over the site before you can even get onto it. So a fantastic hold from FYB, kind of off the back of, you know, they really kind of found out the weakness in that push there, and they took advantage of it, that's for sure. Here comes the Stars, and the Nebula is going to go down as well, but Nerve just sending rounds down range, but True, it's going to be True that takes out another member. But look at this, some headshots going back and forth. I mean, this is kind of expected. You've got this, whoa, J-Cruel though, with a beautiful headshot onto True under some fire there. So they're going to have to do something big here, Vincent. I mean, this is kind of one of those rounds where it's either just straight up the buy round go in your favor, or you get some headshots, but it's looking like it is going to be FYB taking the second round.
Oh, that's a nice shot though from B-Dog. Every single one of these frags, it means, just a little bit of economic damage choice. And ultimately, I don't think we're going to see B-Dog come away with a victory. At least that would be insane. But especially not with this setup in mid. It's definitely not going to happen there. But, every single frag is nice to get, I would say. Simple finally does clean that up. It was maybe a bit more labor than you would have liked, but overall, a 2-0 start for FYB is exactly what they would like to see against a roster with the amount of big name players and heavy hitters that is Ex-Sakura Storm. So I want to see even more of this. I really liked what they did there on the pistol round. I thought it was very intelligent. It really put an end to the attempt of a play that we saw from Ex-Sakura. So FYB, they seem to kind of be ahead of the game here in the early stages of this map.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those situations where possibly it's the fact that, FYB's been together for a while here. They've been playing some games for a while, and Ex-Sakura Storm having just some fun here in the Valorant Sunday Showdown. And you could tell they're just having some fun. They're here. They're ready to pug it out and do some damage, maybe even get to the grand finals if they want to. So right now it's just mid control though. Nothing different here in general. So Jelly and Nerve holding on to this tree area. This is the perfect positioning for them to be in. They don't have amazing guns in their hands, but they are going up against some rifles. This could be pretty tough for them right now here, Vincent. The recon dart does go out. No follow-up at this moment, but they are going to kind of be on the lookout. Lumiere likes to watch this backside, that's for sure. That's exactly what they need. They need someone to be watching their backside because FYB could be on top of their pushes. Sending some rounds is Trill, though, takes down Jelly, and that's going to be the A site in the favor of Ex-Sakura Storm.
Yeah, it certainly is. And take a look at, I think there's a lurk there over towards mid. No, it came back, actually. No lurk at mid. That's going to be key. So the retake, realistically, 4-on-5 is somewhat doable, but the real issue is the weaponry. And, well, apparently the weaponry not mattering a whole lot as the frags go the way of the defense. That being said, B-Dog having something to say, finds 3 and makes it very impossible to get back in there despite Simple's attempts at heroics.
Beautiful stuff from B-Dog, just one after another. Those beautiful headshots taking care of the defenders in the favor of Ex-Sakura Storm. That's what they needed. They've got their round on the board now. And I do believe 2 or 3 members were left alive in that situation. I think 3 members were left alive for Ex-Sakura Storm. So they're not going to have too much of a hard time buying in. But it actually looks like J. Cruel is going to be on the backside here. But one ultimate orb point, or one ultimate point left over for those knives. So that's probably what they're going to be banking on, that ultimate orb. And there it goes. Truo with the head, or with the shot out onto Rashura. They're going to be backing off, waiting for the shots to go through. Tons of smokes, tons of vision denial here. J. Cruel going in with the knives, has a ton of ground in their favor, sending a couple of knives down towards Justin, and there it is, a beautiful headshot. That's what we need to see. It doesn't even matter that they only have a classic in hand. These knives do all the work for J. Cruel. Jump peeking this heaven area, and Nerve knows a little bit better to push that. Doesn't want to get the same demise as his former teammate in that moment. So a little bit of a back push. The knives are out for Trill. Oh my gosh, almost gets caught out by the Omen. B-Dog holding on to this angle pretty closely, and this could be the site for a long time. This is a tough retake, Vincent.
What's hard with all the utility, right? That Simply Dart is going to come out, and ooh, that's an aggressive push there by Truo with J. Cruel, B-Dog, all getting on the action. It's Lumiere to close it out, and ultimately that was kind of what you had to have expected, considering the amount of utility. Once you get onto that site, you can basically just, depending on how much you've poked and prodded, you got a lot of smokes, a long time. I mean, those nebulas, they last 15 seconds, and so does the dart cover. So, or I think it's 14 seconds actually on the dart cover, but either way, it's a lot of time. And with potentially 5 of those, and 5 of the nebulas and 4 of the dart covers available to you, it's going to be a very tough ask, especially to retake from. So definitely take a look at, and let's keep an eye on how those retakes go.
Yeah, it seems like Ex-Sakura Storm, They're feeling a little bit better about their pushes out onto the sites. Ooh, that was huge from Truo to be able to take out that swarm grenade, keeping Huston nice and healthy HP wise. Pushing in is J. Cruel. They know exactly where this turret is going to be, so they're going to be calling that out. You could see the comms going out. They're going to be slowly pushing through. Rashura is going to be met by the Sheriff, and there it is. Simple takes down Rashura. That's huge, but the lane flash does come out from B-Dog, and J. Cruel pushing in. Gets taken down, but True is going to be able to take down Jelly and Simple Lumiere, following it up, and this is going to be a pretty tough retake with 2 up against 3. Ex-Sakura Storm are going to be able to get this spike down.
Yeah, I mean, this retake's all about damage control. You want to make sure and force as many weapons out of the hands of your opponents as you can. And well, Huston's going to maybe even go for it, using the Empress early on, trying to commit. And there's 2 players lining them up, knocking them down. Beautiful spray from Huston, and it's Truo as well. I thought they were just going to be going for the save, but no. Actually able to get all of the frags necessary off the back of that Empress, and allowing for Truo as well to get that defuse in order to get the extra ult point. Absolutely just making sure that those are maximized. So a thrifty victory there in the round for FYB. And I mean, it really started with another very intelligent play, leaving mid open and basically just, you know, forcing the opponents into a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at this replay. It's going to be Huston that pops out of this angle and gets the double. Truo following it up with the last kill out onto Lumiere, and that was a beautiful play by those 2 players. I mean, keeping them alive in this. It's up 3-2 in their favor right now, so that's fantastic. Up against, I mean, that was a buy round and a thrifty round for FYB, so good stuff from them. Able to pick up some dropped guns, some dropped weaponry, but Rashura is going to be able to get that ultimate orb and drop this lockdown down.
The Hunter's Fury, though, they could just deny this, the defense, but looks like maybe don't want to do that. There we go. Simple finally pulls that out and should deny it. The opposing Hunter's Fury actually getting the better, despite the fact that it was denied. And now it's really Jelly who wins that overall with the utility, kind of catching a couple players out. Nerve and Justin both just take a bit of a shooting range right there on the push in with just pistols and all the players to contend with on FYB. That really wasn't going to be a successful push unless you had that lockdown.
Yeah, absolutely. But it seemed like they were kind of waiting for the Hunter's Fury to come out so that they can, you know, do their own Hunter's Fury in that situation. And other than that, like, it seemed like it was going very well in the favor of Ex-Sakura Storm. They did a ton of damage, but just not enough to get the frags or get the round. So, I mean, it seemed like it was calculated in that moment there, Vincent. But, I mean, ultimately, it obviously went to FYB's favor. Truo very closely missing that shot. My goodness, what a start to the round. Oh, my gosh.
That was nearly a collateral. That was nearly a collateral. J. Cruel has found a very forward position, though. And honestly, we have not really seen the magic that J. Cruel can put on just yet in this game, but it's simply a matter of time choice. And I'm excited for when that turns around with the Vandal in hand here as well. Could be the game changer for this round in particular. But there it is. Like I said, the game changer opens up this push, and in fact, there's another one from Rashura. So this retake gonna be difficult, though Truo makes it easier.
What? There's no way that Truo are able to get these shots. Simple with the double headshot on B-Dog and Rashura to secure the round in their favor. That was all off the back of Truo's insane op shots in that moment. I mean, just absolutely under fire, getting pushed on, and like, what? We're gonna throw up a replay because that was ridiculous.
So getting that first shot is nice, right? But then that second one is incredible. And I love that Simple was really ready to come and help out the operator player there. And you're right. I mean, just a lot of key frags going the way of FYB. And I mean, it really looked as if that was kind of Ex-Sakura Storm's sight. But they made not even a mistake. They just tried to take advantage of what was a pretty good situation for them, being the operator caught out in the open. But Simple just had their number.
Take flight. Always ready is simple, ready for the headshots, ready for the retaliation of this Ex-Sakura Storm ridiculous roster pushing up against them. I mean, for the first game of the day, you know, this is pretty scary. It's scary stuff for sure, but
I
staying
mean,
cool and
FYB
collected.
is up against
Yeah,
this Pug team is incredible.
they're doing fantastic. So J. Cruel clearing some corners here, taking it nice and slow. But Nerve and Huston, once again, hanging out in this tree area. It's always been Nerve in this close angle on tree, watching it nice and closely. There goes the smoke. So Nerve is going to be ready. And there it is. The gravity well is going to come in, but B-Dog is going to be using that from the shadows to get behind some of the members. And look at this, Lumiere and Nerve getting some trades, lots of trades. It's green and red up on the kill feed right now, 3 versus 3, and the spike is going down. Trio with these knives out, watching the angle, once again pulls out the operator and ready for anyone to pop their head up, and that could be a scary moment for them. We've seen some shots come out from Trio, and the lockdown comes out as well.
That lockdown, the crucial bit of utility is everyone kind of has to evacuate this site. And doing just that, tapping out on the spike is Jelly. Nobody detained just yet. A nice frag from Simple makes this look very, very easy. Simple continuing to find success and True the final frag, but the defuse was already coming in. There was no way to stop it, and it didn't really matter whether or not True won that fight or not.
That was a very interesting decision from Ex-Sakura Storm. You saw that B-Dog actually opened the door in that situation. I don't know what the thought process was there. I did see that there was a swarm grenade down on the ground there, but I don't know if they were able to react fast enough because they were already at the door. They were already running through it. And that was FYB pushing through. Their aggressiveness really helped them out in that situation.
Yeah, and I think this is just a lot of good decision making from FYB right now on the defense. They've done well at that before, but here's J. Cruel picking up yet another Blade Storm off the back of that orb, and we've seen what J. Cruel can do with these blades. Getting a forward position on the site, meets with a bit of a bot, but it's not going to really deny him much in the long run. But the spike getting planted still leaves us in a 5v5. And, well, the retakes have been solid, and the Cosmic Divide is up, and they're good.
Yes, this is huge stuff. Cosmic Divide going to be able to stop any sort of push from, or any sort of shots from that back area. But Simple with the shock darts, take down Rashura. My goodness, but Lumiere gets the collateral with the Sheriff, taking out 2 members immediately. J. Cruel themselves taking down many members with these knives, but Jelly, it's all up to them. Pushing in, gets the double kill, but no! B-Dog from behind takes him out with a Sheriff kill, and my goodness, what seemed a little dire there for a second for Ex-Sakura Storm is redeemed by B-Dog and that ridiculous, you know, he was just behind him. Crazy stuff.
Well, and, I mean, let's not pretend that the old double Sheriff action didn't help out either from Lumiere. Definitely a visionary in his own right, and a visionary in this server, as only a few people got that reference. I appreciate those who did, but yeah, no, a tough look, I think, on that retake, and honestly, a good job from Ex-Sakura Storm. They pulled it out where they needed to, I would say. And so now they've got to try to string a couple of these rounds together. Another aggressive push here onto the site, but this time there's a wild Houston in the site ready for more. Has already gotten 1 frag, and now it's J. Cruel who's got to contend and find yet another. Ultimately, the spike's not really going that direction, but it is a huge frag from Nerve to take J. Cruel down. So they should know, and well, they should already know in honesty, that this is just a fake, but Simple stands strong for 1, but not much more. The spike falls, and it's a bit of a chaotic round, but ultimately, this is not looking great for Ex-Sakura Storm.
No, not at all. When it's a 1v4 situation and Huston is there for the frag, for the shots, winning out in the aim duel in that situation. Huston once again has this Empress available, so huge stuff from FYB. They've been, I think they just look super clean on a lot of their executes, especially these retakes, like you were talking about, Vincent. They're just looking nice and clean, hitting their shots, and being in the right place at the right time.
They're trading well. They're playing basic fundamental Valorant very, very effectively. And, you know, that's what beats a Pug team with incredible skill like this Ex-Sakura Storm side. Like we know that this is, you know, disparate parts from a bunch of different teams, and so not to say that that's necessarily a negative thing. It's just that you don't have the time to, you know, get everything perfectly placed like you do, like an FYB who's been together for quite a while and has really kind of solidified their position and made themselves a very strong team.
Yes, they are, but look at this. The Recon Dart and the Hunter's Fury barely misses. Might actually get the last one. There it is. Nerve is going to go down. That's going to be the Astra off the field for FYB. That's going to be a little tough. Pushes through the Swarm Grenade to get the frag. I mean, what do you do in that situation? There it is. Another frag for them, but Rashura takes him down with the Operator, and this is going to be huge. It's a 3v3. Make that a 3v2 situation simple, making it less even for Ex-Sakura Storm, but Jelly kind of just holding down this hell area, gets taken out by B-Dog, but the Operator is still on the field for Rashura. Puts down the alarm bot in that tree area to stave off any sort of flanks, is about to put down the lockdown. That's going to be huge. That could stave him off for just long enough to be able to do something big, but the Hunter's Fury is going to be waited out. Rashura gets the spike down. This is huge stuff. Misses some of the Hunter's Fury shots. Rashura still holding these very interesting angles with this Operator. I mean, what can you do up against a Killjoy and an Operator? I guess it's going to be put a Recon Dart down, take some ground from them, but B-Dog is just so good. It is a 1v1 situation, Vincent.
And Rashura, they know kind of where Rashura's at. Oh no! I thought that was their choice. It was so close, but True hits the shot and absolutely dominates. I don't, it was the stutter step maybe? I don't know, but it looked like it was on point, but no.
Oh man, the crosshair placement was there, right on the body, right at the chest level. But no, I think just a slight sidestep made the Operator just shoot way to the right, and an unfortunate situation turns out in FYB's favor.
Dang, man, that's absolutely brutal. And think about this, right? It was 7 before. If we see Sakura Storm win that round, then, you know, they're sitting at 4 and they could start to kind of take advantage of it and push themselves to a 7-5. Now we're looking at a potential 8-4 happen. In fact, it's looking very much like that. That being said, the kill feed lights up like a Christmas tree, red and green, both directions, and Truo on the re-aggression is good. And there's the third with the knives. Absolutely brilliant stuff, and might even find a fourth. There it is. Truo absolutely dominating here on Ascent.
Oh my goodness! The shots coming out from Truo, getting absolutely aggressive in a situation that should have been. I mean, look at this replay. He's getting so aggressive, it doesn't even matter. He re-peaks this angle, gets the frag through the wall, Vincent. What?
Oh. He dashed out of that chalk dart too. Oh my goodness, that was brilliant.
Amazing stuff from Truo to bring him up 9-3 in the favor of Frick Ya Bag here on Ascent, the first game of the Valorant Studies Showdown, 1-year anniversary, basically. Crazy stuff. If you're in the chat, thank you so much for joining in. I'm Choice Plays, joined by Vincent Cast. You can follow him on Twitter. Please do, because he's fantastic. But now we're talking about this second half.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about the 8-4 potential, 9-3, the eventual score line, and it's even worse for Sakura Storm as FYB. They've gotten mid control, and Rashura, though, does have the first frag. The Paranoia does well to slow this push down, especially as there's one player advantage for Ex-Sakura Storm, but ultimately it looks like it's just a bit of a bait. They wanted to go in, but actually FYB electing to go back to A.
Yes, they are, but there it is. Look at this gravity well, perfect stuff. And Drill able to take down Nerve. That's big stuff. Taking the Astra off the field. That is those Nebulas out of commission for FYB. But Huston, once again, getting absolutely aggressive, getting the headshot out onto J. Cruel. Drill, look at this. My goodness. Like, doing some damage with the Classic, but this is a nice hold so far for FYB in the situation. But Lumiere with the Sheriff, we've seen what he could do with this Sheriff. It's scary stuff, and B-Dog on the flank.
Yeah, B-Dog's flank here is crucial. There it is. That frag absolutely turning the tide now. as the push can come in. 3 players, 3 positions, and they're all underneath. And that's true. Oh, that's simple, though. They come up with the frags. It doesn't matter if the positioning's perfect choice. If you hit the shots, you get the round, and that's a round that hits double digits for FYB.
Whoo! 10-3. I mean, I was with you on that one, Vincent. I thought that was just the positioning was too good for Ex-Sakura Storm to drop that one. But I mean, it just came to those headshots. The headshots came out clutch for FYB, and that's the only reason why. And look at this, Truo now with this interesting positioning, waiting for the super aggressive push and the Marshall in hand. Good stuff.
Truo's on a heater right here, 18-6 at the moment, and you know, we talk about J. Cruel, and we know what J. Cruel can do on this Jet, but has really been not super effective throughout this game, and that's a problem for this Ex-Sakura Storm side. Like, they need to have their big star players firing on all cylinders in order to really stand a chance against a team that's as set up, as consistent, and doing as well as FYB are. So, you know, 10-3, considering the way that True is fragging and the way that Houston is fragging, the way that Simple is fragging, I don't even feel like this is surprising.
Yeah, no way. True, Huston, even Simple, doing some absolute damage right now, all in double digits in terms of frags, and all positive on their KDs as well. But B-Dog is holding it down for Ex-Sakura Storm. Lumiere, once again with the Sheriff, is not able to get the frag this time. Huston takes down Rashura. Look at this. This is a nice trade-off, but no, Huston is going to be taken down by J. Cruel. Look at this. The trades still go in the favor of FYB. This is a 3v2 retake. Still in the favor of FYB, but B-Dog takes down Nerve. Beautiful stuff. The headshot with that judge. That's good stuff. Picks up a Phantom for their troubles as well. Hopefully he's going to be able to do some big stuff with this. Truo, though, with the Marshall hanging out in this boathouse area. Will they be able to hold on to this site, Vincent?
It's going to be hard, though that actually makes it even more difficult, because look how low the Astra is. Trill is quite tagged down, and so that is going to make things very difficult. That being said, Trill does connect the shot, and the Marshall, just one shot, all it needs, missing all of them, though, and it's all on to Truo, and Truo falls to B-Dog. So, I mean, it was scary. 2 HP remaining, that's all that was left for Trill, but ultimately, that first frag where we saw the Killjoy fall, that basically just shut that down, because the pressure that I was talking about from the bot, right? That pressure falls away once the Killjoy dies. So I really would have preferred the Killjoy to play a bit more passive there in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with that turret up, just like you were talking about, especially since it's what brought down Trill down to 2 HP. I mean, you saw it happen. You heard the moment where it turned on, hit Trill, brought him down to 2 HP in that situation. Scary stuff, but they were able, even under that pressure, able to still, you know, do some big stuff and get another point on the board, stop the bleeding just a little bit. J. Cruel, there it is, hitting some shots onto True, taking down a top fragger for FYB. That's big stuff for them. That's that impact frag in this round that's going to allow Ex-Sakura Storm to do some big stuff here. Yeah,
and I mean, unfortunately, FYB on a bit of an eco here. They really didn't have enough cash. There was that Marshall on Truo, and Nerve does have a Guardian, but I mean, you know, a Marshall, a Guardian, not really the most impactful of weapons. A couple of Sheriffs online as well, so don't want to cut them out before they do anything here. But it's still a difficult position to be in. Ultimately, though, 4-on-4 as B-Dog fell, so you know, both top fraggers gone. Certainly is a problem, but maybe less so for Ex-Sakura Storm, as looks as if this hold could be very solid, though a very different push is what this is. Houston coming around the corner, and J. Cruel kind of half commits there and then tries to get out. Does actually, and Trill lines him up, looking like bowling pins out there, and Trill was the bowling ball.
Don't you just love those moments where just people line up for you and you just hear that musical note? it just feels so good. You feel it in your soul on that one. Here's that replay as well. J. Cruel holding off this angle, and my goodness, it went pretty crazy here once the push actually started happening from FYB. I mean, you saw them; they were taking down some members, but ultimately they kind of lined up for J. Cruel and Trill here to get those frags. Beautiful stuff.
Honestly, I think that it's a bit lucky that worked out in the way that it did. I think you honestly could have really found a different outcome if you know, the timings were just a little bit different. So Ex-Sakura Storm, I think, kind of get away with one at that, and we're gonna see how things go now with the full rifles, as both teams have the full investment, with maybe some exception being Lumiere and Reshra, not quite with rifles, or well, Guardian is a rifle, but you got what I'm saying. And Reshra doesn't need a rifle to get frags. Houston goes down to that SMG as J. Cruel with a forward position takes a shot and falls back. Doesn't want to get too far forward or get punished for anything, though. It looks as if a re-aggression might be coming through and not ready for it. Simple falls as well as Jelly, and that is a huge spike just found by J. Cruel. And with 2 players left alive, I mean, do you just try to save? What the heck do you do here?
Yeah, it's kind of tough because they had such forward positions, the remaining members of FYB. A nice headshot from Nerve onto B-Dog, but Trill is going to be able to get the trade and the round for Ex-Sakura Storm. And look at this comeback here, Vincent. I mean, it's looking pretty nice so far. 3 rounds in a row for them. I mean, they're looking pretty crispy. It seems like they're pretty warmed up here. Like, look at this.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
that was nice. I mean, that was nice. And look, you know, I've talked about it twice now. You know, how J. Cruel kind of is the difference maker that I would go to for this team. And it's kind of felt a B-Dog here in that opening half. But with J. Cruel making plays like those, that could certainly be the thing to kind of start the comeback, so to say. Especially now that J. Cruel has an operator in his hands. That being said, Tro's Blade Storm might have something to say about it. So we'll see how that goes. But J. Cruel, I mean, you just cannot peek J. Cruel dry like that. Simple. You gotta use a flash or something.
Yes, you do. Oh, and a perfect gravity well to be able to... What? He hits the shot even around the corner, and there's another shot under fire. J. Cruel going off with the 3K right now. I mean, I still gotta say, this is a save round. I mean, you always remind me to stay cool in these situations, Vincent, but that was just really fun to watch.
Well, you know, it was a save round, though I will say the commitment of the Blade Storm there made it very, very dangerous. So, you know, you don't want to undersell that either. And I think that this shot, I mean, we were watching it. Oh, my goodness. Number one, never just peek J. Cruel without utility. Just don't do it. You'll die like that every time. But then the second shot was so brilliant. Whew! Threading the needle.
Oh, so good.
Can't believe he found a third one there, too. Really impressive from J. Cruel. And like I said, J. Cruel hitting shots like that is a J. Cruel that's going to help win you games, as we are actually looking at a hugely impactful round right here. Not only are there 8 ultimates on the board, but in addition, there is a lot where it comes to the long-term game, as it could really reset your economies. So both lockdowns committed, only one of those destroyed. It's the attacker one that stays strong as the push comes through. The Empress popped as well, but we'll have to see how this ends. It's 5-on-5 for the retake choice.
This is a big moment here, Vincent. I mean, you can hear all the shots going to like hell area. And I mean, tons of stuff happening. B-Dog gets, I mean, sees one of the members of FYB. I mean, this is slow, Vincent. This is, they're waiting for the frags to happen, and Huston gets that first one, the opening frag, and Reshra had a shot there for a second, but the displacement, basically, dismissal keeps him alive. Trill with the headshot, Lumiere with this Odin. My goodness, what's better on Ascent than an Odin and a Sova in this situation? And that was some scary stuff. But yeah, just like you said, too late on the spike. They took a little bit too long. The hold was looking pretty clean from FYB.
And I mean, the commitment, right? everything, literally everything committed, other than the cosmic divide for both teams. I mean, they had basically everything but a blade storm. I think for both sides were there, and all of those things utilized. So, you know, realistically, this is that round. Like I said, I think it very much defines. Things as we move forward a little bit, because if we take a peek at the economy, right, there's enough money to get another buyout here for Ex-Sakura Storm, but that may be going to be less true next round. All but J. Cruel pretty broke, realistically. So we'll have to see. Can J. Cruel be this difference maker once again? Takes a swing, but finds a bot to potentially contend with, and wants to maybe give that one up for a bit.
Yeah, ooh. Gravity Well does come in to try to pull him in as well. Allow Jelly another shot at this really intense Jet player here. J. Cruel going off, but this time Jelly. This is a nice slow round from FYB here, Vincent. I mean, this is kind of different than we've been seeing from them. They've been able to really push hard, and the patience is allowing J. Cruel to just slowly be eaten away by this turret. I mean, he wants to re-peek, he wants to get aggressive and get that shot, catch him lacking, but no, Jelly, with the patience of a saint, able to hold that angle and not push through at all. And this time it's going to be a nice slow rotation back on over to A, Vincent.
Indeed. You know, and I think that this sort of kind of tells the story of where FYB's heads are at the moment. They feel that last round was as impactful as I was talking, and they don't want to make a mistake here. They don't want to get insta reset. If you just win one round and then lose the next, it's very, very devastating. And looking at that cosmic divide, it's clear they want to get this spike planted and get straight back out. Are they going to be able to make that happen is the question. The spike getting planted, but coming up above is, oh, that's rough from Reshra. Houston ready and waiting. B-Dog underneath, though, is ready as Lumiere and J. Cruel both find frags. This retake is looking so strong. It's left all on to Houston, who's all alone and behind a cosmic divide. Swings out, finds the first, and gets the dismiss away. This could be the find. Is not ready for Trill, though, who comes around right-clicking and headshot.
Whoo! This was looking pretty one-sided on the first half here, Vincent, but look at this beautiful run so far by them. I mean, they've been doing some absolute work. That's 5 rounds out of the last 6. They've been, I mean, they're kind of warmed up here, and especially on this side, all that utility I feel from Trill and B-Dog just helps them here on the defense side on Ascent. It just seems like they're, you know, they're feeling themselves. They're putting their smokes in the right place at the right time. And all that vision denial is scary to push through, especially when you're on the attacker side, you know?
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. Having the additional utility is certainly key. But, you know, I think that it's a matter of finding those openings and using the tools at your disposal, whether that be the jet, whether that be the sonar arrow or whatnot. You got to find those. There's always those openings. So, especially with a team that has so little experience playing together as this one. So, we'll have to see if that's a continuation. That Gravity Well going to shut down that Owl drone for just a moment. Oh, J. Cruel. J. Cruel. Only J. Cruel does those things.
J. Cruel does those things, and he does them well. Gets in there, aggressive, gets the pick, even under fire. And here it is, Trill with another headshot as well. Just eating away at the attacker side. They are going to be able to trade out Trill in that moment. So 3 up against 4. This side take is going to be tough, especially with B-Dog taking down Trill. That top fragger, really impactful frag in that moment. J. Cruel, my goodness, doesn't even have to use the shorty because Lumiere is there and Lumiere is ready for a double kill in the end of this round. Bringing him up to 9. Almost double digits here, Vincent.
Indeed, and you know what? That is the worst. You know, that was basically the worst case scenario that we could have seen, or rather that you know, FYB could have seen. Right, winning that one round, then losing the next 2 in a row. You know, they're at this point where honestly they could get away with that for once more, but they're gonna have to start putting these together because ultimately this has gotten not only close, but I mean it's just. a hair's breadth between the two. And Ex-Sakura Storm, you don't want to give them an inch because they'll take a mile.
That's so true. That's so true. I couldn't have said it better myself there, Vincent. That's for sure. Here they are. I mean, they're pushing. Look at the amount of utility that's coming out. I mean, it was so silent that all of a sudden just a sheer amount of utility that just popped out all at the same time, taking down 2 members quickly of FYB. I mean, this is Ex-Sakura Storm right here. This is what we were looking for in this situation. B-Dog, though, is going to be taken down by Simple in this situation. 2 against 3. Spotted out by the recon drone. Lumiere getting aggressive is going to be taken down. And, oh my goodness, Simple. They're making stuff happen that I feel like they shouldn't in this situation, Vincent. This is crazy. It's a 1v1.
Yeah, and it was a 2v5 as well, mind you. So J. Crow, unaware of exactly where Houston wanted to go, has kind of committed towards this market area, and it's a bit of a middle ground right now. Is looking towards mid, and what a read here. What the read? The miss shot. Oh no, that's the second time with an operator that we've seen just the swing out frag the holding up, and oh, that's brutal, especially because both of those times it was against that Sakura Storm.
Oh my gosh. That's when your heart just sinks into your stomach, you know? You feel like you're supposed to win out on that duel, but it just does not go in your favor. That's crazy.
I mean, I don't know what it was, just a bit of a hesitation. I don't know how that shot missed. It really looked like it was there, but either way, now it's a match point, and this is 3 match points in a row in the favor of FYB.
Yes, it is. Beautiful stuff so far. 12-9. This is everything for Ex-Sakura Storm right now. They're going to have to do something big in this moment. J. Cruel is ready for it as well. There's a lot of members here, and the utility is coming out as well. Standing in the... Oh, the swarm grenade a little bit too long. Didn't know what they wanted to do in that situation, but Huston takes over this situation now. Their logs in their favor, and now 5v5 situation. They're going to have to retake this big because FYB has the hold down in their favor.
We've seen the 5v5 retakes over at A, but rarely have they been at B this game thus far, as we're seeing the prep, the ready for that push. Bladestorm there, the Empress there, but it's actually going to be, well, just nearly run out, but it's just a trade, actually. J. Cruel gets that frag onto the Empress, and now Nerve had the opportunity, but B-Dog wins the fight, but look at the low HP. There's 3 players very, very low. All it's going to take is a little bit of damage, and that damage is done by Simple and Truo, the magic dynamic duo of this FYB squad, and it's 13-9 to close out that one in FYB's favor.
What a first game for our 1-year anniversary here at the Valorant Sunday Showdown. I mean, they gave us a show, that's for sure. And I mean, that's exactly what I was expecting throughout. That's what I'm expecting throughout this entire broadcast today, Vincent. We're going to have some high impact games here, some just high octane games coming up here. I mean, and that was a true one. I've got to say, FYB holding it together, showing off the fact that they have been working in the labs together as a team and really solidifying themselves as a nice, cohesive team in general.
Yeah, I loved what they did there on their defense. I thought it was very, very solid. It was absolutely dynamic. And, you know, when we're talking about a slow start there for J. Cruel, they took advantage of it. They really did. It wasn't that, and I mean, I say a slow start, and that's a slow start for J. Cruel standards. I want to clarify. You know, for anybody else, that's just you're losing 9-3, and that's usually what happens when you lose 9-3, right? And a very well-deserved MVP there in Huston, who is 24, 15, and 8, 307 ACS.
Wow.
So well done there on that one. So I think that overall, though, FYB, they showed that they have what it takes to kind of go toe-to-toe with some of the top fraggers. Now it's just a matter of getting to that point where they can meet the mark of some of these more difficult teams that have had more time together, that maybe have a bit more to show when it comes to their strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. They really solidified themselves, just like you said, Vincent. I mean, that's a good word. It really felt solid. All their defense side was so solid, and the fact that they were able to get those trades almost every single time, it just felt cohesive, and it felt like they were one unit in that moment. So, congratulations to FYB for taking off the first group stage game here in the Valorant Sunday Showdown. We're going to jump into a quick little break here, but when we come back, it's going to be game 2 of the group stages. Vincent and I will still be here casting those next games. So you don't want to go anywhere.